What is up, everybody? And welcome back. Yes, welcome back to another episode of Fantasy Time. And week 2 is over, but what a wild week 2 that we just saw. And guess what? We're going to break it all down for you right now. Well, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Fantasy Time. I am your host, Jacob Cutler, the Fantasy Guy, and as always, joining me, one of my best friends, Brandon Sullivan. Brandon, how you doing?
Yeah, it's kind of bittersweet, we beat our division rivals. To me, it doesn't matter who's on the team. Doesn't matter if it's Matt Hasselbeck or Russell Wilson or Geno Smith. Always want to beat them Seahawks. And so I think that rivalry really started back in 2011, 2012, like really officially, because they weren't part of our division for the longest time and they didn't really do much. And they weren't really on my radar. But to be able to get that victory, obviously I would trade that win for Trey's health. Obviously, you don't want to see that happen to a young quarterback who we had a lot of faith in going into the season. But like I said, bittersweet. I have to look at the glass half full instead of half empty. We were able to get a win against the team I hate the most. And not only did we get a win, it was a blowout. How you feeling, Jake? I know that it's kind of there's two different worlds right here. We got my world and we got your world. I know it's a little bit different for you.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good, but yes, it was another rough Sunday for me. A rough start to the season, I should say, but yeah, I'm not letting it affect me. I'm doing good overall. Exciting weekend of football that we saw. Exciting week of football that we saw. We're gonna break it all down, but I mean, man, we knew that that this schedule had, potential. We knew it when we were breaking it down. But yes, I believe that it definitely lived up to the hype. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it seems like the NFL has taken a change for the better. It just seems like any given Sunday, you never know what's going to happen. You don't know if it's going to be a blowout. You don't know if the team's going to win. And I think our review is totally going to, pretty much endorse what I'm saying as far as, everything that happened this week. There were so many unexpected turns that have happened this week and last week that
that's for sure.
So excited to unpack everything.
Yeah. So let's not waste any more time. Let's put how we did last week up on the screen. Boom. All right. Starting with yourself. Saving your week, going 8-8, going 1-0 on your guaranteed victory, right? Bouncing back after last week, so that's a good sign right there, right? Overall for yourself, right? 16-15 and 1, thanks to the Colts and Texans, right? Already have a tie, and we're not even week 1 into the season. Already have a crooked number on our record. I think it happened early last season, so I'm really not that surprised, I guess. But starting off, in a positive way, where you still have that positive record. Maybe not be the start that we both want, right? And we'll get into my start because it's not looking pretty. But yeah, how you feeling about your start? How you feeling about these first 2 weeks?
It's kind of where I thought I'd be. Because if you look at it like this, the first 2 weeks, the first week especially is such a wild card. Week 2,
yeah.
I thought I would perform a little bit better, but there were some big games that really took a turn towards the end where it flipped, my record there. So can't complain. I'll take the positive record. Definitely want to improve and build off of this record. I don't want to be sitting at 500. I think that, you and I are better than that. So, cheers to week 3, but I'm pretty happy about my first 2 weeks. What about you?
Yeah, so, we can put mine up on the screen. Going 7-9 for the week. Rough 2 weeks, just like my Bengals, but going 1-0 on the guaranteed victory. But we just absolutely, I think, nailed the guaranteed victory this week, and we'll talk about that very shortly. Overall, for the season, that puts me at 3 games under 500, right? 14, 17, and 1 for the guaranteed victories. 1-0 and 1. Thanks, Colts, again. Still sitting good in the guaranteed victories, I guess. But yeah, definitely need to fix the picks. And I'm feeling good about week 3. I like the matchups. I was looking at them last night. I was breaking them down in my head. So I'm feeling pretty good about Wednesday when we record our picks video. So we will definitely get into that then. But let's wipe those off the screen. Get them off the screen. I don't even want to look at them anymore. Okay, let's just focus on last week. And let me get your instant reaction. Right, game just ended. We just saw four teams, right? 2 games. We just saw the Titans and the Bills, and then we also just saw the Eagles and the Vikings. Let's start with the first game. Give me your initial reactions on the absolute slaughter that we saw.
I'm not surprised at all. I think Tennessee kind of came out and they tried to put up a little bit of a fight in the beginning of the game. I think the Bills kind of accelerated and they kept their foot on the gas. Stephon Diggs, I mean, this guy, just incredible. I mean, we're starting to maybe talk about him being a top 3 receiver right now. I mean, just he's looking like that guy. Josh Allen, can't say, I mean, still clearly the MVP candidate after 2 weeks. We're taking a sample size of 2 weeks. Our guy, we both love Josh Allen. Our guy is the MVP at this.
We do like him.
And, their defense is stout. I mean, holding the Tennessee Titans and Derrick Henry to 7 points. And obviously, I had to go there. Ryan Tannehill, unfortunately, it looks like his departure at quarterback should be happening soon. We don't know. It seems like this guy lingers.
Get him out!
Get him out of here.
Get him out!
Get him out of here. Seems like he lingers around. And that's what I'm interested on your take on Ryan Tannehill.
He's got to go. There's the take right there. He's got to go. And honestly, Mike Vrabel's, I'm pretty positive that, last year they did perform a miracle. But yeah, if nothing is done this year, Mike Vrabel's will definitely not be the head coach of the Tennessee Titans either. They got absolutely demolished. Absolutely demolished on Monday night. And Derrick Henry, rough start to the season, right? King Henry is having a very rough start to the season. Obviously, he's King Henry, and he can and will bounce back, but it really comes down to Tannehill, right? I know we were texting with the games and stuff like that, and you were saying that the Titans suck, but it really is Tannehill. Tannehill is the catalyst for everything wrong with that team. He doesn't set them up for success. He doesn't do anything that puts his team in a position to win, right? He's not doing anything at all. So I don't know if it is a lack of training camp, right? If he didn't do that much in training camp, I don't know if it's a lack of preseason. But yeah, I think you said it best, right? Tannehill, one more start and he loses. I think we turn to Malik Willis.
Oh.
I think we turn to Malik Willis, and I think we give the rookie a chance because, Ryan Tannehill, Malik Willis and Ryan Tannehill at this point are probably the same quarterback. They're probably the same quarterback in terms of what they're going to give you production-wise. Right? What do you think?
Well, at this point, what do you got to lose, right? I mean, you just got blown out.
Exactly.
You're down 0-2. It's crazy to say. You're last in your division. I mean, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars who have taken that division by storm now. I don't believe in Indianapolis. And then you got Houston Texans. So, the Jacksonville Jaguars, I don't know, man. I don't know. Hey, tides might have turned. But before not getting into that too much, the Titans are the last place in that division. Just because of point spread, alone. They got blown out 41-7. So, I completely agree with you wholeheartedly. Now looking into it deeper, Ryan Tannehill is the root of all those problems, and the reason why I believe Derrick Henry is not able to get going is because all eyes are on him. When you have no passing game, of course they're going to hone in and completely game plan around quite possibly the best weapon in the NFL. So I completely agree with you. Tannehill has got to go. Give him one more start, one more. And if it doesn't work out next week, bench him. You have nothing to lose. No teams go 0-3 and then make the playoffs. You might as well start allowing Malik Willis to get his reps in now. I agree.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with the Titans. The Titans have to do something to turn it around. They are fully capable because they did it last season. But I don't know why you want to keep putting yourself in these positions where your back is against the wall every single game that you play from here on out, where you have to win. So, get out ahead, especially in the division, like you said, that is very capable of winning. So we'll see what happens. But our next game that happened on Monday night, right? We had 2 games on Monday night, which, all right, I agree with you, was very stupid because, yeah, I wanted to watch one game even though it was a blowout, but I was flipping back and forth. So, yeah, I agree. That was pretty stupid. Yeah. But we had the Eagles absolutely dominate the Minnesota Vikings at home. Let me hear. What do you think?
Yeah, I actually was surprised by the Philadelphia Eagles' performance coming into this game. I thought it would be a close game. I think I picked Minnesota 24-17. But
yeah, we both picked Minnesota.
Yeah, we both thought Minnesota. You had your Kirk jersey. We thought that it was going to be a good week for them. Unfortunately, they couldn't get the run game going because Philadelphia's defense played so well. I mean, Darius Slay was everywhere. Fletcher Cox was making plays. They were moving sideline to sideline. Give Philadelphia Eagles defense a lot of credit. Kirk Cousins couldn't get going early and late in the game. He struggled. But like I said, not taking anything away from Minnesota. As far as, they're a very good team. I think they just had an off game, but give Philadelphia's defense a lot of credit and give Jalen Hurts a lot of credit. He played very well. I've never been too high on Jalen Hurts, but in this game, I will give him his credit. He played extremely well. He managed the game well, and he was able to score that long running touchdown. That was pretty impressive. So
yeah, I mean,
all around, AJ Brown looked good.
Devontae Smith had a good game.
Good call out.
Yep. Everybody had a good game on the Eagles.
Yeah. So completely caught me off guard. 2 blowouts on Monday night. Unfortunately, I was looking for some entertaining football, but this is going to happen from time to time. What's your take on that?
Yeah, so I mean, my thing is, I think, it's pretty simple when it comes down to the Minnesota Vikings, right? There's only 2 Kirks. There's only 2 Kirk Cousins that exist in this world, right? There's a really good quarterback, Kirk Cousins, that shows flashes of like, oh, wow, there's the franchise quarterback that we all know he can be. And then he has these games where you're just like, okay, that's the Kirk that we all know, right? Where he just botches everything, right? They had 3 to 4 red zone opportunities, times where they had the ball, where he just threw up the ball, threw up a duck, and it was just a pick, right? He would throw it right to the other team, right? The last one to Darius Slay, where he just essentially chucked it up to the corner of the end zone where nothing really on the ball. And Darius Slay just goes up and picks it off very simply, right? So, yeah, I mean, the Eagles defense played phenomenally. I mean, that's basically the performance that I saw. Like, they played great. There's no real knock for them. Everybody played great, and it really shows that those pickups that they got in the offseason make a vital difference to a team, right? That defense is stacked, and they are silently stacked, right? They're silently stacked with guys that no one really was paying attention to, right? With Hassan Reddick, James Bradbury, right? You have Darius Slay, who was on there last season. But, I mean, that defense is ready to go, right? And you have, obviously, the veterans on there who have won the Super Bowl. You still have some guys who were part of that Super Bowl roster. So, the Eagles, man, I'm not there yet. It's only 2 games, but they look good, and I was not a Jalen Hurts fan his freshman year at Oklahoma or at Alabama, but I became one over time. And yeah, I'm a Jalen Hurts fan, so I believe in him, and I think he has what it takes to make it. So whatever he does, I'm behind him the entire way. So that's what I think about that. But the Philadelphia Eagles, hell of a performance. Minnesota Vikings, I think you chalked it up properly, which was just a bad night, off night, on the road. Eagles just outplayed them on defense. Kirk had one of those games. Justin Jefferson, right, couldn't get going. The running game couldn't get going, so they were basically passing the entire game. So it was just one of those off nights for the Minnesota Vikings. I expect them to bounce back. I do, because I do see them as one of the top teams in that division. So we'll see what happens going into week 3. But yeah, I just think it was an off night, but no discredit to the Eagles at all. They played fantastic. Now, let's rewind all the way back to Thursday, to our Thursday thriller between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego. Tell me what you got on that game.
Man, that was such a tough game to watch. The Chargers had it in the bag. It just seemed like, you're right there. You have the opportunity to score, have that go-ahead score. I mean, the Chiefs weren't able to do much at that point in time. And then what do you do? I'm not going to talk too much about this game, but what I will say is that you had an opportunity to put your foot on their neck, and what do? You didn't call a timeout. Gerald Everett stays in. He's gassed. You throw a pick. This retread rookie, this guy, he's, 7th round pick or something like that. He's got to actually, I take that back. I'm not going to say that. He's got a good story. He's working at Burger King or Taco Bell.
Give him some time first.
Hey, give him some
time.
Burger King, Taco Bell, Wendy's, one of those places he was working at. And that shows his character. He was working there. He was going to school, doing his thing. So he came in, got the pick 6. He was the hero of the game. That essentially sealed the game for them. But a bad decision by Justin Herbert. Hopefully he'll learn from that. Is you need to sub out your players. You need to take your time in those situations. It's first down. There's no need to rush the situation against a team that has been there and done that. You don't need to do that. They took advantage of it. It was essentially a rookie mistake. Throws a pick 6. They never recovered. I still think the Chargers are the better team. But unfortunately on that night, the Chiefs were the better team. But I still think overall the Chargers are the better team. What's your take?
Yeah, I think unfortunately the Chiefs still run that division, it looks like. So I agree. I do think the Chargers are a better team. Justin Herbert is one tough son of a bitch, that's for sure. Justin Herbert is definitely a real deal type of quarterback. So anybody who has any doubts about that, you're just not watching the right game. And also, Los Angeles Charger fans, you should be ecstatic. You may have lost the game, but man, do you have somebody like a Phillip Rivers who looks like he's going to be there for 17 to 20 years, but he actually looks like he may be able to get the job done. So, and the team that they have built around him, right, that defense. So, we'll see what happens, right, with the Chargers. Obviously, right, the Chiefs still run the division. Patrick Mahomes still incredible, right? No real surprise there. Travis Kelce, still one of the top tight ends. No real surprise there. Some of those receivers that are coming through for him, good for them, right? Clyde Edwards-Helaire looking good with him right now if he stays healthy. So solid running back with there. So, Chiefs, I guess they're going to hang around, right? I guess they're going to hang around, and I guess there's really nothing that we can do about it at this point. So I guess we just have to kind of wait and see what happens and hope that one of these teams can come through, because it doesn't look like it's going to be easy at all. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens going into week 3 with those two teams, but it's definitely not going to be easy. Moving on to Sunday morning, and man, oh man, what a Sunday morning we saw. And we saw something that has not happened in 3,935 days. That's 10 years and 7 months. I can't believe it. I can't believe it's been that long since this happened. But what is your take on Sunday morning?
And I think that your 3,000 whatever days, 10 years, it has something to do with the Jets, Lions, and Giants, another team winning, Jags winning on the same Sunday. Crazy. A lot to unpack about the morning games. First off, we'll start with your Cleveland Dukies. Your squad blew it.
Jets, Jets, baby.
Your squad.
Let's go.
Your Cleveland Dukies blew it at the end of the game. Nick Chubb.
Dude, they certainly blew it, dude. They blew it, dude.
And 30. They were up. The Browns were up 30-17. They missed the extra point. That is such a Dookie move and then Joe Flacco busted coverage, touchdown, 20.
Returns to Super Bowl Joe, dude.
Returns to the Super Bowl Joe. I'm going to jump through the screen and a little bit. But back to your scheduled programming, 30-24. Then they get an onside kick. What are the odds of that? They get the onside kick. Man. That just goes to show that the Dukies are cursed. You shouldn't have went after Deshaun Watson. That's what you get for doing to Baker. It's karma. So then the Jets score. It's just unbelievable. I need your take on that one.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable game. I was out of my seat, losing my mind because I couldn't believe that I'm watching Joe Flacco take the Jets down the field for a game-winning drive. Not only a game-winning drive, but with seconds left on the clock, game-winning touchdown to just it was incredible. I couldn't believe it. The Jets. The Jets. The Jets? Are we serious here? Is this just the Cleveland Dukies duking it up, or is this the Jets? So we'll see. I'm not gonna hate on the Jets. That was a solid win, right? So we'll see what happens in Week 3. But yes, right. What was it? I forgot the number. Let me see here. Let me pull it up. It was a lot. It was 10 years. It was 3,935 days, right? The Lions, the Jags, the Giants, and the Jets all win on the same day. 10 years and 7 months since that happened. That is absolutely astonishing, right? The G-Men hanging on against the Carolina Panthers. That was a snoozer type fest, but good for the G-Men. The Jaguars, right? Give me your take on the Colts looking horrible, man. Holy moly. But the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, finally looking decent. Finally.
Yeah, I mean, good call out. Trevor Lawrence looked good. I think this was a trap game for the Colts. I think they underestimated the Jaguars like we did. I personally didn't think the Jaguars were going to win this game. I thought the Colts were going to bounce back. I thought it was a rough, shaky start for Matt Ryan. But you know what? I'm starting to notice the Jaguars kind of own the Colts. The Jaguars, I do believe at this point in time, have the opportunity, not that they're going to, they have the opportunity to run that division because you got Houston, they struggle. You got the
Texans.
No, the Texans, they struggle. The Colts, they struggle. And then Titans.
We don't know.
We don't want to milk carton.
We don't know.
We don't want to milk carton. So
we don't know.
We don't know what's going to happen, but the Jaguars, I don't even know if they do that anymore. I don't think they do. This is not 1960. This is not 1970. But the Jaguars are looking good. I'm rooting for them, man. I mean, you can't help but
I like them.
For a team like that who's been down in the dumps. I mean, you hope that they're able to turn things around. So that was really cool to watch. But embarrassing for the Colts to not even score a point. That's embarrassing to me. You should have at least been able to score a point, not even a safety.
3 points? You're gonna cut Rodrigo, and you're not even gonna score 3 points?
Donuts.
Disgraceful. Disgraceful, right? Donutted. They got donutted, bro. Man, the Colts, Matt Ryan, Matty Ice, figure it out. Have super high faith in you, but figure it out, right? The Bucks and the Saints, right? Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore may be the greatest rivalry I've ever seen in football. It's legit. Like every single time they play each other, guaranteed fight. Guaranteed. Not even like an if. It's a matter of when. I mean, that game, boring as hell. But yeah, like Mike Evans said, man, it's Tom Brady. What do you want me to do, right? You don't come after Tom. All right, you don't come after Tom, right? So I mean, what was your take on that whole thing?
Shouts out to Mike Evans for having your quarterbacks back, especially when he's the greatest of all time. He's the reason why Tampa Bay is relevant, has a Super Bowl ring most recently. I mean, we know they got one like 20 years ago, but he brought relevancy back to Tampa Bay. He got Mike Evans his ring, let alone he is the greatest to ever do it. Of course he's going to have his quarterbacks back. Of course he's going to stand up for him. I respect anybody who stands up for their quarterback because their quarterback is their leader. You're not going to punk my leader. And Mike Evans is a savage. I've always said Mike Evans is such an amazing receiver as well. Only receiver, I think, to come into the league, and every single year he's had 1,000-yard receiving or more. Some stat like that. I mean, this guy is
he's dominant.
Underrated. He's so underrated. So they finally got over that hump, right? I know you picked the Saints, but my thing is
they did.
Good pick, but at the same time, 0-4, we thought, this could go either way. Tampa Bay, Tom Brady was really pissed off early, really rattled early on, throwing his Microsoft tablet and Pippen yelling at yelling at Scotty Miller. He's pissed off, and it just goes to show if he's getting fired up like that at 45 years old, it just goes to show how much he loves the game. So me, Tom's got a special place in my heart. Redwood City, Bay Area boy, 7 Super Bowl titles. No one's ever going to do that. I got to root for him this year, man. After what Adam Schefter pulled, I got to root for him every single game. So shout out to the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I mean that was a crazy game. That's for sure. That was a crazy game that we saw, and I mean we're not going to move on to the afternoon games until we talk about what happened in Baltimore, right? We can't move on until we talk about what the hell took place in Baltimore, Maryland, right? I can't believe it. In Landover, well, that's where the Washington Dumpster Fire Commanders play. But we got the Baltimore Ravens choking. But boy, oh boy, do the Dolphins look good when they play good. Holy moly. Give me your thoughts on that.
All I got to say is it's 2 a time, 6 touchdowns, almost 500 yards. He's got weapons now. He's got Jalen Waddle. He's got Tyreek Hill. He's got the weapons. It goes to show that if you give him a little bit of talent and a decent coach, and Mike McDaniel, shout out Mike McDaniel, San Francisco 49ers offensive coordinator, you can do good things. Everyone on the Shanahan tree won this week. Robert Saleh, Mike McDaniel, and the man, the myth, the legend himself, Shanahan. So all 3 were able to get a victory, but an amazing comeback. To be able to come through with that kind of poise at an end of a game and throw those kind of lasers. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa was throwing dots. So. And you know what? That Ravens defense just faltered. You gotta say, here's the thing.
Shredded.
38 points that the Ravens put up. I'm not putting that on Lamar. I'm not putting it on their offense. They did what they're supposed to do. You're not supposed to give up 42 points at home. Baltimore.
In the fourth quarter.
No. Yes. No. You cannot let that happen.
35 points in the fourth quarter.
Never have I ever seen that happen in the fourth quarter.
Man, I mean, you said it, right? Give Tua some good receivers, some solid coaching, a decent line, and I guess it is Tua time. So we're gonna see if he can keep it up. But man, oh man, what a performance! What a bounce back performance, right? Starting off with 2 interceptions and then coming back with 6 touchdowns, right? So hell of a performance by Tua. Not gonna take anything away from him. That was the Dolphins, right? And the Dolphins are that team that you know. They're there. They're there every single year, but they just can't get over the hump. So I think that Dolphins, if they keep playing good, and I mean Tyreek Hill, he definitely a cheat code. Definitely, Patrick Mahomes is great, but Tyreek Hill amplified Patrick Mahomes' greatness to a level that I think we're not going to realize until maybe this season's over. So watch out for Tyreek Hill and he was having a very slow game, and they ends up with 2 touchdowns. Same thing with Jalen Waddle, right? 2 touchdowns, both of them over 150 yards receiving. What more could you ask for a quarterback, right? So obviously they're doing it right down there in Miami at this moment. So we'll see what happens in week 3. But the Dolphins making a statement in week number 2 to cap off the morning.
Good for them.
Moving on to Sunday afternoon. We have some stuff to unpack, right? Mainly for 3 reasons. Let's start with the Niners.
Okay.
QB power, QB power, QB power, QB power. Kyle, what the fuck are you doing? Thank God. Thank the heavens that Jimmy had this shoulder issue and nobody wanted him. Thank the heavens, right?
Right.
Your thoughts on everything that happened for the Niners on Sunday?
Man, it's hard to go back and revisit everything, but I'm going to start from the very beginning. Trey started off pretty good. Like you said, Kyle Shanahan, what are you doing? You need to open up the playbook a little bit more for Trey Lance and not have him run so much. You're going to get your franchise quarterback hurt, and that's exactly what happened. If you would have opened up the playbook just a little bit more and had him throw the ball more, he wouldn't always be, his playbook is so slim that he's looking to run every single time because your play calling is not good.
Yep.
So you're using the same playbook that you used for Jimmy Garoppolo as far as throwing passes over the middle and stuff. That's not Trey's strong suit. He throws better towards the sideline, which is actually a good thing because you're not throwing it into so much traffic. But yes, long story short, prayers up for Trey Lance. It's a horrific injury. It's terrible to see. I probably feel how you felt when it happened to Joe Burrow. Let's hope that he can bounce back the same way. I know that, he had his
that'd be crazy
surgery this morning. I'm glad to hear that went well. He posted on social media just thanking all the fans and thanking everybody for their support. It's terrible, but we just have to kind of move on from it and hope that this his rehab and his treatment goes well and that he comes back stronger than ever next year. I still have faith in Trey. He's such a good person, and I just hope that they utilize him differently when he comes back. So with that being said, we will move on. Jimmy Garoppolo came in. It's like he even mentioned it. It's like riding a bike. He had no reps in the offseason, really. He was rehabilitating his shoulder. He had shoulder surgery. He wasn't with the team. He wasn't practicing.
He was working out separately. Yeah, he was doing side workouts, not with the team, just doing individual workouts just to stay in shape, waiting to be traded.
Right. And when that didn't happen, he humbly took the deal and decided to stay with the 49ers because he knew that his opportunity could come and that it's the best chance for him. Boy, do I think he made a good decision to restructure his contract because he can get a lot of those guarantees by just playing 25% or more in each game. He came in, came out firing. The first or second drive he came, a pass to Ross Dwelly for a touchdown. And then, just leading the team down the field, just getting those 3 points, or whether it be a QB sneak towards the end of the game. Our defense played lights out, holding them to 0 points. The 7 points came from special teams. So Talanoa Hufanga was coming from side to side, but shouts out to Nick Bosa, shouts out to Talanoa Hufanga, Charvarius Ward getting a crucial interception to stop them from scoring. When Dallas threw, it was a little trickery gimmick play, and Charvarius Ward was able to get the pick. So very, very impressed with our defense. But so impressed with Jimmy, his poise coming into a game where the stadium is completely deflated. It was a perfect opportunity for Seattle to come in and beat us, and he didn't allow that to happen. 27-7. My man. I got this at opening game. It was the 2018 season. It was a 2018 season. There's not a lot of these, but I was able to get this when they still did the bobblehead handouts. It's crazy. I mean, coming full circle.
There you go.
From last year, we were having this last season in March, we were having a conversation, and it was a farewell Jimmy. I kind of held up the same bobblehead and said, thanked him for everything. But the man is back.
He's back, dude.
The man is back. I think that he's going to have a good season with us. I'm so happy for Jimmy. Obviously, complete opposite emotions towards Trey. Like I said, I love that we beat the Seahawks, but I would trade that win in any day for Trey to be healthy. I'm ready to go into surgery and give.
Understandable.
I'm ready to go into surgery and give him my leg, if that's what it takes. But so happy for Jimmy Garoppolo, man. I mean, he came out, he beat a division rival, and it's like he never left. What do you think?
It's on Jimmy now, right? It's on Jimmy now. We'll see what happens, but yeah, I mean, he comes into a ready-to-go team. So, and he seems ready to go. He knows this team. He should know the playbook. So this should be something very easy, very simple to fit in. But we'll see what happens going into Week 3 with the Sunday night game that we may be at. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Jimmy G and the Niners. I mean, it's his season now. Unfortunately for Trey, I was excited to see him this season and grow and see just kind of the maturity what he has as a quarterback. We're going to have to wait a season. And yes, it is very tough and it is unfortunate. But yes, let's hope that he comes back better and stronger next season. And there are quarterbacks out there that have come back from injury and led a team to a Super Bowl, right? So it's not impossible. So we'll see what happens next year with Trey after he gets better, right? We'll talk about it for a little bit. But the next game that we got to talk about is the Bengals getting off to a horrible start, looking terrible, looking absolutely horrible, but Joey is Joey, and you gotta love him. The man has his heart is bigger than any heart I've ever seen. He never gives up, never gives in. The chips could be all down and out, and he will still not give up. So that is great to see. But yeah, the Bengals right now losing to the Dakless Cowboys. Granted, that defense did look amazing. But right now, it's the lack of not having a training camp, the lack of not having a preseason, the line playing individual football, not playing team football. All I see 5 individual linemen out there. I don't see an offensive line. I see linemen. I see people playing for themselves. I don't see them out there trying to protect Joe, right? It's not that hard. Right, and I think, they said it on I think it was ESPN, or they said it on the broadcast, right? Just because you go out and spend a lot of money on these linemen doesn't necessarily mean your line's going to be good, right? The chemistry is not there, and that is the most crucial thing that the Bengals need with that line, is they need chemistry amongst those guys. So I don't know if they need to go on a bros trip. I don't know what they need to do, but they need to do something to come together and realize the opportunity that they have and the opportunity that they're missing, because you can't lose to Mitchell Trubisky and Cooper Rush. That doesn't happen. I mean, come on. I mean, Mitchell Trubisky and Cooper Rush. It's just not good. It's just not good. Not good football is being played, and it needs to change. Needs to change. Offensive line needs to play better. Joey need to play better, right? Zach, call better plays. I mean, you're not helping. You're not doing the man any favors, just like the line's not doing him any favors. So he's doing everything he can. Hey, trust me, the man is doing everything he can, but sometimes he needs a little bit of help. So let's get him that help. If the help is there, let's make sure that we can get it to him. So I don't understand, but it was frustrating. Very frustrating to watch on Sunday. We got to bounce back. We got to bounce back this week. What were your thoughts on watching the highlights of that game?
Yeah, it's like you said. There's been that offensive line woes. Joey just keeps getting sacked, and he just keeps getting sacked, and it's just messing with his confidence. And it's like he can't really do anything back there. He doesn't have the time. I mean, you guys have such a good wide receiving core that if he had the time, he would definitely have time to make throws in those windows, and he would have time to have plays develop. So I like you said, I kind of agree. I think that line needs to come together, maybe have some sort of outing or some sort of conference, and try to come together and just they need to collaborate, and they need to make sure that they're protecting this guy, because we've seen what he can do when he is protected, but when he's not, it's a wild card. So, but to be honest with you, I know you don't want to hear it, but it's the Super Bowl hangover, man. It hangs over so many different teams. When you lose the Super Bowl, your team just seems so deflated at the beginning of the season the next year. And once you start winning and you're not deflated anymore and you start winning, it's just a little too late. So we know that it's really tough to make the playoffs when you're 0-2. However, I have faith in Joey that he could turn it around. I think that, you get these couple bad games out of your system. You say, look, you turn the page, you go back to the drawing board. It was 2 close games. It's not like they got blown out. They just need to block a little bit better and clean some things up. If they clean those things up and they block better, they'd be 2-0. I mean, easily. It's one possession game. I mean, for them to be 0-2 and the point spread to be as close as it is, I have faith that they'll turn things around, but they need to start next week.
Yeah, luckily the entire division lost, so it's not too bad of a loss, to take during the season, so that's not the worst come to worst. But yeah, team needs to come together and improve. Last game we're going to talk about is just the abomination that I witnessed in front of my freaking face on Sunday, and I can't believe it. And it's the Raiders absolutely choking. Just choking. Up big. Cardinals not doing anything. And then out of nowhere, I think, you're going to hear it, but it's best described like this. Kyler Murray looks like a toddler who's running away from his parents after they just stole his phone. That's what he looks like. With his little legs moving that fast, his upper body doesn't move, but his lower body's moving. It's hilarious to watch. But yeah, Raiders. Horrible. Just bad. Derek Carr. You're showing what you got. And it's what everybody besides Raider fans thought, which is not a lot. So I don't know what needs to happen. Something needs to happen, kind of like the Titans. Something needs to happen. I don't know what needs to happen because everything seems there. But something needs to happen because that was unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable and embarrassing. And I don't understand why this team thinks that they can keep losing in this division and they're going to be okay. The Broncos won. The Chargers, luckily they played the Chiefs because they probably would have won if they played a non-divisional opponent. So they lost. Lucky there. Chiefs are won. You're not helping yourself by losing these games. You're not helping yourself in the slightest. So Raiders, horrible. And I know as a Niner fans for you, you're sitting there loving it. But yeah, your thoughts.
Well, I wouldn't say that I necessarily love it, honestly, because I most of my friends are Raider fans, so that's just a bad look to, obviously I don't want my friends to be sad, right? I mean, that's the way I look at it. Like, I want my friends, I wish positivity and things like that. I think that the rivalry a few years ago was a little bit different, but I don't wish hurt on people I'm close to. I know too many Raider fans, man. It's honestly, my primary focus is the Seattle Seahawks. That's it. As long as the Seahawks lose, we're good. We're good. But I actually felt bad, man. I know that honestly, you're up 20-0 at half. I don't have any. This game's irrelevant to me. I have nothing invested into it. Honestly, it'd probably be better if the Cardinals lost because they're in our division, and who knows if we're gonna have to compete with them at some point to get the number 1 seed. You just don't know. So every loss to our division opponent is a good thing. But I mean, it's just crazy. I think that It's inexcusable. You're up 20-0 at half. You're at home. It's not like you're on the road. I mean, blowing it at home too. You're up 23-7. So that's 2 possessions. That's 2 possessions, kind of, because you got to get the 2-point conversion twice, and that's so hard to do because what you're basically asking yourself to do is score a touchdown twice in a row on 2 plays because you got to get to the end zone twice in a row. You score, and then you have to get in the end zone again, which is so hard to do in the NFL. You had to do that twice. And, Kyler Murray, this dude is just crazy off the hook, the way he's able to elude tackles and stuff. And like you said, the way he moves, it blows my mind, man. It's inexcusable. But here's my thing. The defense gave up some points at the end of the game. Hunter Renfrow, it was a bad fumble. That was inexcusable. But Derek Carr, man. Like, here's my thing. It's like, you go up 20-0, and then you do nothing. You proceed to do nothing for the rest of the game. You proceed to do nothing in the second half. Absolutely nothing. 3-and-out drives, in my opinion, are just as good as a turnover. You did nothing. And your ball placement, like when Hunter Renfrow's catching the ball, he doesn't have time to tuck it away. It's just it's hard to explain, but this dude overthrows receivers. He throws it into areas where I'm like, this is my thing. You don't have Derek Carr. I don't think you lose that game. My opinion. You could put probably half of the NFL quarterbacks in there, and you're able to hold a 20-0 lead. And so, defense, where the hell is Chandler Jones? This dude is gone. You have an opportunity to go off against your old team. And you get your money, and you're just gone. The only person on defense that did anything was Max Crosby. It seems like no one else tried in the second half. And it doesn't help that you have a deflated Derek Carr. Shocking outcome, dude. Shocking outcome, the way it happened. You even had an opportunity in overtime, and you still blew it. It's I honestly, other than that, there's nothing more I can say. I'm just shocked.
Yeah, it was a bad loss. Bad loss. They can't keep taking these losses, so they got to fix something. We'll see what happens in week 3. On to the next week, I guess. So for Raiders fans, heartbreaking, especially those idiots popping bottles of the champagne in the end zone.
23-7 bottle in the third quarter.
It was bad, man. It was all bad. Let's move on. Lastly, Sunday evening, we did not see anything new. Back-to-back snoozers on Sunday. Sunday evening has been boring as hell lately, even though last year Sunday was one of the best. Sunday nights was one of the better games to watch. So back-to-back snoozers, nothing new. Your thoughts?
Well, yes, I agree. And, Green Bay came out and thought I would do what they did. The Bears are not a good team. I still see the Bears as a top 5 draft pick. I think that they did really good in the monsoon against the quarterback who had never really started before. And, you don't have George Kittle. And I could do the Pythagorean theorem and all kinds of long division and mathematics to explain to you why they won that game, but we're not going to get into that. All I'm saying is I'm hoping that we are able to change the narrative next Sunday night because, I don't want another snoozer that we're going to. We paid too much for those tickets.
Yeah, so hopefully this upcoming Sunday, cat's out the bag. We're going. So Sunday's going to be good. We're looking forward to it, but yeah, this past week, right, nothing new. Aaron still dominating the Chicago Bears. Chicago, the weather, I guess, needs to be torrential downpour for them to have any shot in the game. So we'll see what happens with Chicago. Young team. Packers, looks like Aaron's going to hang in there, right? Looks like week 1 against a good team, a well put together team. We'll see what happens against, a lesser opponent. Obviously, he can take control. So I don't think, we saw anything new. Aaron Rodgers still dominating. We'll see what happens week 3. Quickly, before we go, who impressed you the most in week 2?
Tua Tagovailoa.
And then what team impressed you the most so far, week 1 and week 2?
Oh, good. That one. That's a tough one. You know what? I'm gonna go with Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. The last team that we saw today.
Did not expect them to start off 2-0.
I like that. Okay, I like it. I'm gonna go with the fan favorite. Obviously, I'm gonna go with the Bills. The Bills to me look the best, by far the most impressive team. The person who looked the most impressive in week 2. Yeah, we gotta give him his props one more time. Tua Tagovailoa definitely looked. Tua Tagovailoa. Definitely looked the most impressive. 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, an absolute amazing comeback in the fourth quarter. So Tua, again, props to you. Early Super Bowl prediction, because we didn't do it week 1. Give me your Super Bowl prediction.
I think it's going to be Bills versus Rams. I think Bills win the Super Bowl.
All right, and I am going Chargers and Rams, and I think it's the Bills and the Chargers in the AFC Championship. But yeah, I got the Chargers. You heard her here first. Well, not really first, because it may be out there, but you heard it from myself. Chargers, got them winning the Super Bowl. We'll see what happens, but that is going to do it for our week 2 wrap up, our week 2 recap, our week 2 overview, whatever the hell you want to call it. We're done with week 2, and we're moving on to week 3, and you already know what I'm going to tell you, but I'm going to tell you it anyways. If at any point you like what you saw, you know what to do. Just smash that like button, right? Smash the subscribe button. Just tap on that bell notification. That way, anytime new videos drop, you're right there to consume the content, because we're going to be dropping videos all season long. Brandon, any last words for the people?
Yep, just one last time, prayers up for Trey Lance. It was a tough week for me. It was really hard for all us 49er fans. I'm sure everybody in the NFL. Dude has so much potential, and he works so hard for that starting spot. I just hope that he gets healthy, and I hope that, also with that hope, I hope the Bengals are able to turn it around for you. First 2 weeks have been kind of rough, so I'm hoping that Joey can come through and turn it around for you.
I am hoping to, my friend, believe me. I am hoping to, and again, Brandon and I, want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, whether you're new, returning, what have you. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, listen to us, our thoughts, our analysis, our recaps, review, all that good stuff. That'll do it for this episode of Fantasy Time and Meat on the 50 Week 2 recap. That is one of my best friends, Brandon Sullivan. I am Jacob Coe, the Fantasy Guy, and until normal Meat on the 50, Brandon and Jake are out.